Hi there. My name is Devin Van Dynen, and I am the Scholastic Education Consultant for Bruce Grey Catholic District School Board. Today I'm going to talk to you about Take Action for Reconciliation, which all grade 3 to 8 teachers and students in Bruce Grey Catholic have digital access to, and Passer à l'action pour la réconciliation, which all grade 4 to 8 French teachers and students have access to. I will also be highlighting some of the useful features in the online resource. Take Action for Reconciliation stems from the Truth and Reconciliation's call to action and Scholastic Education's intention to create a resource with Indigenous community members to help teachers and students across Canada discuss very important and sensitive topics. Take Action for Reconciliation was created with 10 Indigenous educators and community members from across Canada who formed our Indigenous Advisory Team. Some names from Ontario that might be a bit familiar include Kalinda Klein, who is the Indigenous Consultant at Upper Grand District School Board, and Pamela Agawa, who was previously the Curriculum Coordinator for First Nation, Métis, and Inuit Education at York Region District School Board. These advisors contributed articles, ideas, photographs, wisdom, expertise, and perspectives, while also reviewing and improving every piece of content, every picture, and every word. In essence, they oversaw every aspect of this resource. There are 4 books in the Take Action for Reconciliation resource: Community Ties, We Are the Land, Path to Wellness, and Time for a Change. In the French resource, the titles are Des communautés unies, Notre terre, c'est nous, Le chemin vers le bien-être, and Place au changement. These books are not pegged into specific grades, as we believe there is valuable content in each book. However, there is an evolution of content throughout the books. For example, there is a spread in Community Ties that is about residential school, but this spread only introduces students to the fact that children were taken away from their family. And what did that mean for the child, for the family, and for the community? However, when you reach Path to Wellness and Time for a Change, there's more mature content about residential schools, such as interviews with residential school survivors. To access Take Action for Reconciliation and Passer à l'action pour la réconciliation, you can follow the same steps. You will need to sign into the Scholastic Learning Zone using the access URL, username, and password provided to you by your board. Once you sign in, you will see the icons for Take Action for Reconciliation or Passer à l'action pour la réconciliation. There will be a teacher and a student profile for both resources. You can click on either of them to launch that profile. This is the homepage for the teacher profile for Take Action for Reconciliation. You will find an engaging introduction video at the top of the page, and a little further down, access to all 4 student books, as well as the accompanying teacher's guide. Along the left-hand side, you will find additional support organized by book, and along the bottom, you will also find access to live website links that you can click on to use for your own learning, or if you'd like to share them with your students. Let's have a look at a student book. You can access the student book by clicking on the cover page, and it will open in a new tab for you. You can navigate the student book by clicking on the arrows on either side. You will also likely hear the sound of the page turning, and you can turn that feature off by clicking the volume button along the top. As you can see, the student book is in a magazine-style format, and every spread is engaging with various different text types and vibrant photographs, art, and maps. Please keep a lookout for the Think About It boxes, as these are questions that can help teachers encourage conversations about Indigenous communities or experiences closer to your school or province than what might be included in the spread, and to also help your students talk about their own personal experiences. This Think About It question is, what does land mean to you? What artwork could you create to share your connection to land with others? Let's have a look at one of the teacher's guides now. You can open the teacher's guides by clicking on the teacher guide icon below the student books, and it will open in a new tab for you. We understand that this can be an intimidating topic for many teachers. So we have tried to include as much information as we can in the teacher's guide to hopefully help teachers feel a bit more prepared for these conversations. We have front-loaded each teacher's guide with information on terminology, residential schools, and treaties. There is also information about using this resource with an inquiry focus in mind, questions to ask yourself, and an assessment rubric. For each of the spreads in the student book, there are 2 to 4 pages in the teacher's guide. The first 2 pages will include background information specific to the content in that spread in the student book, as well as additional websites, videos, and books that you can use for your own learning or to share with your students. The next 2 pages will provide an assortment of inquiry questions along the top to help start those conversations with your students. You will also see the spread from the student book in the center of the page, and around that spread, all of the different topics that you can pull out of that specific spread. This resource is very cross-curricular. Social studies is the most obvious curriculum connection you can make, but these books are also embedded with content for history, science, math, geography, health, language, the arts, media, music, global citizenship and global connections, language arts, drama, and dance. You will also find suggestions for further inquiry on these pages as well. While we have not leveled these books, we have included a slight reading scale. In the upper left-hand corner, you will see a box that can include 1 to 3 drums. 1 drum means the student should be able to work through the spread by themselves. 3 drums means that due to the content or the comprehension, you as the teacher may want to be more involved in the discussion of this spread. At the back of the teacher's guide, there is also a pronunciation guide. Students will have their own profile that they can sign into using the exact same steps as the login process for teachers, opening the Scholastic Learning Zone through the access URL, and then inputting the necessary information, so the username and password. Once they log in, they will see the icon for the student profile of Take Action for Reconciliation or Passer l'action pour la réconciliation. Once they click it, it will open in a new tab that will look very similar to the teacher's profile with a few key differences. Students won't have access to the teacher's guide. They will be able to open each of the 4 books individually. They still have access to the introduction video, as well as some additional support and links along the side. So community links, maps, and then some additional videos introducing students to the Métis, Inuit, and First Nations community. If you have any questions about the online content, please reach out to me and I would be happy to help. Thank you for your time, and I hope you and your students enjoy Take Action for Reconciliation and Passer l'action pour la réconciliation.